Hello you beautiful peeps, my name's John, welcome to my channel. Today we have the WL Toys 104009. If you've seen my previous video, you see that I was converted to a believer. I kind of like this one, I've got to be honest with you. But you also may have heard that I did not grease the diffs before I drove it. Bad boy. So I think that that's what we need to do now. Let's get on. So, get rid of that. I have already disconnected this, so make sure that you don't just yank it off if you do own one of these. I don't think it's going to be like the traditional WL Toys where you need to take all of this off. Looking at it, and if I show you so, there seems to be 4 screws here at the back of the diff casing. So I'm hoping that that's how we get into it. So, we need to take the wheelie bar off. Yeah. Great. Loads of mud in that one. That's a good start, isn't it? Right. There we go. So can't get into it. Have a good day. These are obviously the screws that came in the bag when we first got it. So it's the 2 screws up here as well. Due to the fact that it doesn't have that much power, I really didn't see the need of the wheelie bar up until we needed it. Oh, I'm wondering if these screws were put in the wrong way as well, because these look a little bit longer to go all the way through here, and then these ones were the shorter one going into the chassis, but you know, it held. So as you can see, that is the screws that came off the wheelie bar. Put that over there. Yes, I mean you can see my theory with the 4 screws here, but of course I think you have to take this off no matter what. I don't know. I'm just going to have to get on and try, because I honestly do not know. That's interesting that these are now screwed in. Okay, let's undo these first. Oh man, I've left all the screws from other projects here. That can't get confusing at all, can it? Yes. I was hoping that maybe I could just like jimmy that down enough. Maybe I can. I'm not going to undo these for the minute. Let's just undo the top ones. He says... Oh, sorry about that. Oh, got there in the end. Length of those monsters. There you go. So what do you reckon? Just these 4 now? One, 2, and then the ones on the other side, 3, 4. Get that one out the way. That's a bit frustrating. Looks like these 4 have to come off as well. I don't know, as I said, I am just sort of guessing right now. I'm only going to do these halfway. so I was right. This one is going away, which is against other WO toys where this one would usually be towards me. There we go. Right, to start with, seems like enough grease in there, doesn't it? But listen to that. Oh, sorry. That sounds rough as anything. I mean, again, WO toys, they've done great. They put grease on it, but they leave it off the actual gear. Surely it would be better to put it on the gear. That actually went in the bin. That never happens. Oop. Right then. You're going to have to excuse, I have to have the fan on. Malta's going through a heat wave right now. So, hence why I'm sweating everywhere. Got the 4 screws here that need to come off. Positives, it's got a gasket there, so I assume it's got the O-rings so you can fill it with oil. Negatives, really? Right. What a huge amount of grease. No wonder the darn thing's grinding like that. WO Toys, seriously, I'm just beyond words now. The community is telling you you're not putting enough grease in, and then you're just continuing to just put the tiniest possible amount in. It can't be saving you that much. Or is this your whole intention, to get people that don't know to buy your cars and then having to replace the differentials within the first week? Because it just makes you look bad. Yes, you sell a new diff, but it makes you look bad. I don't get it. It's beginning to really frustrate me. And I know it's not just me, because I'm on the forums. I know that this is an ongoing joke with WO Toys lovers that really truly love your cars, but are getting frustrated that they're having to do the basics to their cars before they run them. Anyway, rant over, let's move on. Cool, okay, right. White lithium grease. While we're here, I just wanted to see if it does in fact have an O-ring on it, because if it does, then we can fill it with oil. Yes, look at that. Nice one. I like that. I like that a lot. Anything to reduce friction. Let's get this one out. Usual theory with this, when you're putting the gears back in, don't push them all the way down, and make sure, you see that there's 2 gashes in these, make sure that they are crossed like so. Let me bring you down. So it goes, come on greasy fingers, stop shaking. Nice. In like that. in like that. The lower one has to have the gash facing upwards, like so. Make sure that you put them, this is the holes for the screws, make sure you put them directly in the center, in the cross formation. This one here, obviously the gash needs to now be facing, oops, downwards. Like so. And as you see, they now sit on top of each other. When they sit on top of each other like that, you can confidently push it down into position. Do not be tempted to turn it now, because you can knock those two bars out of alignment again. So let's put a smidge back in and line up the holes. And the 4 screws back in. Okay, when tightening them up, tighten them in the 1, 2, 3, 4 fashion to spread the load evenly, and they do not need to be tightened up a lot. Just hold it in position over tight and you will stop the gears actually turning. Lovely, 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 lovely. Right. Okay, now that everything is completely fallen off the rear, that goes like that. Remember that it's facing away from me. I'm going to put bundles of, here we go. Bundles of lithium grease in there now. Like so. Remember that the casing, this casing, has to be located just behind that there, so I'm going to try and feed it all in together. Let's see how we get on. Actually, I will just show you. Don't forget that these 2 pins here have to feed in here to both sides. Okay, it's really important that everything lines up now. Come on. This side's being a bit of a biggie. Aha. They all seem to be in. Now, while holding it desperately like myself, okay, now let me turn it around so I can show you properly. So these 4 have to go back in, those 4 have to go back in, and then the 2 here to hold obviously all of that back into place. Excellent. Now, drive shafts, dog bones. Long, long, long ones of these. So put the dog bone back on, like so. Then obviously this one needs to feed back into here. And then you push the pin back through. And then the same on the other side here. Nice. Excellent. I'm going to leave the wheelie bar off and then we'll get onto the front straight away. Okay. That took a bigger beating, didn't it? 1, 2 needs to come off. Now that size. And then the 2 here and here to take the bumper off. These are the smaller ones. So I did have it the right way for the other end. Smaller ones at the top, longer ones for underneath. Get this and just sort of hook it over. Try not to yank that out. Obviously all the wires are there. Same procedure as the other end by the looks of it. You've got the 1, 2 that need to come off. 1, 2. These don't need to come off. Because of course they just slide out, don't they? That's interesting. And then obviously 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like it's exactly the same, so. I don't think these need to come off, these two, but need to be so careful with these wires. Come on. Come on. There we go. Right. It's out at least. And as you can see, once again, very little grease on the actual area it's needed. Most of it is just plumped there. Smidgen more. Not a huge amount, is it? Nice. Okay. This one has to be facing me this time, right? Back up we go. I am going to take these out because getting the CVD joints back in, the dog bones, whatever it is that you call them, will be impossible. There we go. Right. So, now, careful with all the wiring, as I said before. If you can't remember which way these things go, depending on what car you're working on, just run the back wheels down and you'll see if it's running forward or backwards. Like so. Ooh. Just going to put one in to hold it. Going to put two in to hold it. Nice. Ugh. Remember, these pins have to fit in like so, and then we can put this in. That while we're here, let's do the 4 here as well. Just get them in. Excellent. Right, now put it back in the drive shaft, bend that over, get your pin and push it in. Oh, that went in easier. And then on the other side, the same thing. So I'm just feeding the drive shaft CVD into that, bending that down, and then putting the pin in like so. There you go, ladies and gents. Done. Obviously that just needs to be put back on, the rear one does as well, but that's not a hard job. So, it's that simple. It's not complicated, just do it systematically, and you'll be fine. Just make sure that you put the differentials back in the position that they're in. That simple. So please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you next time. Stay safe, take care. Bye-bye.